Ladies and gentlemen, when we walk into a fast food joint like McDonald's, we of course know what we will eat is not going to be healthy. It's going to be yummy, but certainly not healthy. Expecting healthy food at McDonald's is an unreal expectation. But what we expect as customers is that we get what we pay for. So if I buy a McCheeseburger, I expect that my McCheeseburger has cheese in it. Turns out, according to the Maharashtra FDA, it doesn't. The golden melting deliciousness that we think is cheese, according to the FDA, is actually fake cheese or cheese analog. Again, I'm not saying this. Maharashtra's Food and Drug Administration is. The FDA says that McDonald's deceived its customers, selling them things like cheesy nuggets and McCheeseburgers and blueberry cheesecake, minus the cheese. What was used instead was something that is called cheese analog. Cheese analog or cheese alternatives feel and taste exactly like cheese. But instead of dairy, it is made of cheap vegetable oils. Is that illegal? Well, not really, if you make a full disclosure about it in your packaging. What is not okay is advertising something as cheesy nuggets and giving customers fake cheese in it. Now, the Maharashtra FDA says it found out about this cheesy deception in October last year when it inspected an outlet in Ahmednagar. FDA Commissioner Abhimanyu Kale has told Times of India, and I'm quoting him here, during the inspection, our officer did not find any mention of cheese analog anywhere. Items like cheese nuggets, cheesy dip, and cheeseburgers were being labeled as such without indicating that the cheese was actually a substitute. He goes on to say, most other fast food, pizza, and burger joints could be indulging in the same practice. We plan to investigate these chains as well. Now, McDonald's has challenged the claim, but it went right ahead and dropped the word cheese from 8 of its best-selling items in that particular outlet. The FD of Maharashtra was unrelenting and cancelled the license of the outlet in any case. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have sent 2 emails to McDonald's, but have got no response so far. However, McDonald's has done a fact check on their X handle saying, and there it is, that the cheese they use in all their products is real milk-based cheese. Is that really the case? And if that really was the case, why did they drop cheese from the name of 8 of their products in Ahmednagar? It is something they haven't been able to explain. Now, ladies and gentlemen, McDonald's is one of the most valuable and recognized brands on this planet. Its success lies in it adapting to different cultures. Like, for example, in India, they didn't launch a beef burger. They invented the aloo tikki burger for 20 rupees, which till date remains one of their best sellers. So McDonald's is cheap, their food is simple, it's tasty, their menu is uncomplicated, and very importantly, they invited families into their outlets. In the last 27 years, McDonald's has grown into India's largest fast food chain with 512 outlets. It wants to add 300 more in the next 3 years. All that is great. But why would a fast food chain on the growth path cut corners and allegedly deceive customers? The answer in one word is to maximize profits. And let's be clear, it's not just McDonald's. If you're getting 2 cheese pizzas for $100, what you're getting is more mayo and less cheese. Now, as long as you're made aware of it, it's fine. Else it is cheating. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an open secret that food labeling standards in India are simply not worth the little stamp that they are written on. A, the font is so small, you will go blind reading it. And B, most importantly, the operative information on, say, calorie count, fat, sugar, salt, etc. are usually missing. Coming back to McDonald's, the Maharashtra FDA wants the food chain to drop the word cheese from its products that use fake cheese across the state. McDonald's, I reiterate, in its response has said they don't use analog cheese. Question is, who do we believe? There is the FDA version and there is McDonald's version. Sumita, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. Sumita is the one who's been speaking to her sources within McDonald's. Sumita, how is McDonald's responding to what the FDA has said? My simple question is, if they were so sure that the slice of cheese they use or any cheese product that they use in their products is real dairy cheese, why did they drop the word cheese from 8 of their products in Ahmednagar? Have they been able to explain that?
Well, in fact, we've been speaking to sources inside McDonald's and in the industry as well, and sources claim that this is a temporary move. This is not going to last forever because they are in talks with Maharashtra FDA for possible further dialogue, and they want to resolve this matter. So they say that this is temporary. They've also explained a couple of other things to us, including the claim that they use cheese alternatives. They say that the cheese that they have used is 100% milk-based cheese. The issue that they say is perhaps one is related to, and again, this is something that they only claim, the sources claim, it's not me who's stating that maybe the interpretation as far as the law is concerned, that could be problematic. They need to define cheese more prominently and with more clarity. Another thing that they say is that, for example, if you're having cheese nuggets or cheeseburger, now cheeseburger will also have patty which will be fried in oil. You don't call it oil patty, right? They also say that they have been using mozzarella cheese again, which is kind of a cheese only. So this is something that they have said. They're also saying that they, in fact, last December, they were in touch with the Maharashtra FDA, and they said that the matter was resolved. In fact, the outlet was closed for 2 days, and then it was reopened again. So this has been going on for quite some time. They also say that, in fact, one of the charges is that calorific values are not displayed on boards. But McDonald's says that they have mentioned all of those nutrient guidelines, calorific value details on their digital boards inside the stores. Another thing that they have been saying, that they have again asked for clarification, and of course they are not changing any ingredient going henceforth because they stand very firmly on the claim that they're using 100% real cheese.
All right, Sumita. So again, we have no answer to the question I asked.
Absolutely.
Who do we believe, the FDA or McDonald's?
Absolutely.
What does the consumer do in this case? I'm going to put that question to my guest this evening. Sumita, thank you very much. I know you have a show to do. So thank you very much for joining us. Coutinho is an integrative lifestyle expert joining us on the broadcast. Srimati Venkat Raman is a clinical dietitian joining us as well. And we have Mehul, who's the operations head at Amrit Foods. He's joining us on the broadcast. Luke, I'm coming to you first. What does a viewer like me or you take away from this entire controversy that is playing out? Who do we believe? What does the consumer/customer believe?
Yeah, I think what we need is a more honest food chain in our country with better labels. And I think there are loopholes that people and companies pick up from the current labeling structure. A lot of people pick up these loopholes, and that's where I think the FDA and the FSSAI have an opportunity to kind of look at all the loopholes that are being used by brands to kind of put out products there which can be extremely unhealthy. Whether this is the right truth or the wrong truth, every Indian citizen has the right to know what they are paying for in terms of quality as well as how it's going to affect their health. So at this stage, we are in a requirement of an honest food chain in our country. And I'm happy that this is a step that is being taken by the FDA to actually start bringing this pressure onto brands to be very honest about what they say. So whatever the truth is, you don't know, I don't know right now. But the point is, I think it also sends us a message that maybe we need to start investing in better food choices as a country. And, the cheaper the food, the cheaper the quality, and the more impact it's going to have on health at some point.
Look, a lot of viewers will be looking at this broadcast and thinking to themselves, I love McDonald's, or I love Domino's, or I love Pizza Hut, or I love KFC. But how do I walk into an outlet and ensure that what I'm eating is relatively healthy? What should I pick? What should I not pick? How do I know whether this is real cheese or this is mayo or this is a cheese substitute? And on that question, if you could also talk to us about whether the cheese analogs we are talking about are actually unhealthy for us.
Absolutely. All cheese analogs will be unhealthy because they're an emulsification of the cheapest oils and a combination of cheap oils which are highly inflammatory. And in our country, where we have the most inflammatory diseases ranging from cardiovascular to diabetes to thyroid and even cancers, we need to be careful of that. To give you a very honest answer to your first question, is there is no health to be found in any of these joints that you mentioned. There is absolutely no health. They're carb bombs, they're flavors, they're a mix of the cheapest ingredients. There is no health that you would find in any of these joints.
That's the unfortunate reality, the ugly truth, as it were. Srimati Venkatraman, would you want to come in here and give me your perspective on this war between the FDA and McDonald's? McDonald's has now stepped out to say we use nothing but dairy cheese. Now, the FDA is very clear that in one outlet, at least in Ahmedabad, where we conducted raids, there was no cheese in a cheesy nugget, and there was no cheese in a McCheeseburger. You know, what do we take from this? In my head, where is the need for the FDA to lie?
Yeah, good evening. As a consumer, every one of us has the right to know what we are consuming. Food is the fuel for the body, and we have every right as a consumer to know what we are putting in our mouth, because the cheese analogs or the imitated cheese definitely has a lot of health consequences. The cheap protein, the cheap fat that they use are going to have a lot of health consequences like gut health issues. They're going to have a lot of intolerances. If they're going to use the soy protein in that or a cheap vegetable oil, there is a lot of hormonal issues, as Mr. Luke pointed out. So there is, because there is a lot of bloating, lot of food intolerances. And as a parent, as an adult, as an individual, definitely they should disclose, not saying that it is cheeseburger and a cheese fries or a cheese, because I think when you say cheese, the texture matters, the string that you think, everyone loves cheese. And I think we need to know whether it is imitated cheese or the normal cheese, and we cannot take our health for granted. And with a lot of food intolerances and allergies out there, we have a right to know what we are eating and consuming every day. And one thing I want to point out is for the soy, if they use a soy, lot of minerals, and it stops because of the phytates. It stops absorbing calcium, iron, magnesium. And in a country like ours, where there's anemia, there is a lot of vitamin D deficiencies, which we see. I think we have a right to know what we are consuming.
Luke, is it then a case of Indians and consumers not demanding better? Because the labeling laws in, say, countries like America is very clear. Full disclosure, nothing less. As a consumer, if I go out to buy a product, and this is a packaged product, look, it's the reality of the lives we live in. What is it that I should be looking out for now? That information may or may not be available on the packaging, but what is it that I should be looking out for? Those 3-4 things.
Definitely, we need to disclose what it is and not say it is an imitation. And every product, though they say it is there in the digital board, but I think it is shocking to say it is a cheese analog and it's not a cheese.
Correct.
Many people don't even know that there is something like that, because just for cost cutting or to increase the shelf life, they're doing this. And I think it is totally unfair for the consumer.
Okay, Luke, that question was for you actually, if you would want to take it. And I agree with you, Srimati ji. I myself had no clue what cheese analog is. Absolutely no clue till I read about it this morning in the newspapers. Luke, what is it that consumers should be looking out for in packaged foods? Look, fact is McDonald's has spoken to Sumita, my colleague, and they've spoken, of course, unofficially. And they are saying, look, we disclose all our ingredients on the digital board. My point is not every customer is going to the digital board, right? All customers are actually walking up to the counter, paying the cash, and just taking the product after seeing a large hoarding of it that says McCheese or McBurger. What is it that consumers like me should be looking out for in packaging, whether it is McDonald's, whether it is any other fast food chain?
So number one, we should look over the counter and we should see how many times the oil is being reused to fry the next batch of French fries, the next batch of nuggets, because we all know the basics of clinical nutrition. You're not supposed to reuse oil, especially low quality oil, for frying over and over again. That's the most inflammatory and gut irritating thing that can happen. Number two, when you look at ingredients, it should be understandable. If it's a list of things that you can't understand, they're mostly chemicals and additives, it's a straight no. You don't even know what you're putting in your body. Number three, you want to look at your proportion of your macros. If there's more carbs in a country like today, when we're the diabetic capital of the world, and you have little carb bombs and all these fast food chains, where's the protein? We're a malnourished country when it comes to protein. So we want to look, is there more carb than more protein in the pizza that I order or whatever it is that I look at? And then you want to look at your sugar and fiber. Because if you're very low on sugar, on fiber, and you're more on the sugar and carbs, you're going to have insulin spikes, and that is a very concerning case for pre-diabetes, which is huge in our country right now. So these are the things that you would look for in a fast food joint. And then what you're going to mix it with. You sold a burger with fries and an aerated drink, which is a complete carb bomb when it comes to blood sugar levels, pre-diabetes and diabetes. So you want to look at combinations, you want to look at ingredients, and you want to look over the counter and see how many times they're using that same oil for the stuff that you're going to put into your system.
Mehul, but this is one of the, Mehul, I'm coming to you with this question. This is, McDonald's is one of the most valuable brands on this planet. They are one of the most recognizable brands on this planet. Does a controversy like this do anything to their brand? I personally don't think people will read the story or watch this broadcast and not show up at McDonald's tomorrow. A habit is a habit. You know it may be good for you. You know it may be bad for you. You will still show up because it's a habit. But what does it do to McDonald's as a brand, Mehul, according to you?
So for brand, we have to be very consistent about brand. From where we started, we have to always think from where we have started. Like maintaining a brand is a big deal. It's not a thing from where we started. And we have to very organic in terms of food,
Okay.
in terms of quality. Nowadays, not what people are doing, what restaurants are doing. They are just following each other. Once they become a brand, now their consistent level of their substitutes of products, substitutes of quality is what they are using. Like suppose now they are using individual brands.
Okay.
Now once they become very
Okay.
popular,
Okay.
Yeah.
I know this is what happens, Mehul. We've seen this over and over again as well. Once a food chain becomes popular, then quality dips, etc. Luke, last word to you. Any advice for our viewers who are watching? Again, as I said, I don't think the story is going to change consumer behavior. People love McDonald's. People hate McDonald's. Those who will love McDonald's will show up tomorrow as well on a weekend to eat what they eat. But is there something that you'd want to tell them based on what has happened today and what has been happening in Maharashtra since October?
Yeah, I just want to educate people that in life you get what you pay for. The cheaper it is, they don't care about your health. Number two, junk food is not food. It's just junk.
Look, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. I think wiser words were never spoken on this show. Thank you very much. Srimati Venkatraman, thank you very much. And Mehul, thank you very much for joining.